Hey everyone, welcome.
Meh.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 81 of the Pickleball Effect podcast. I'm your host Braydon.
And I'm Kyle.
Today, weekly update, a little shorter. 38050 is mine. Kyle's corner. We're talking Picklr, new lifetime. Something being arrested that you threw in this morning. I haven't seen.
I didn't get arrested. It's just
Okay. Might have been more interesting that way.
I know it would have been cooler.
Have you?
Have I ever been arrested?
Yeah,
that's a long story.
So you have
Kind of.
kind of.
Yeah.
How do you kind of?
It's like a Navy story, and I kind of got arrested. We could talk about it, but it ended up being kind of like a false arrest where they were actually never dispatched to get me. They were doing something for a friend to like scare me, and they ended up getting in a lot of trouble for it.
Oh wow! So it's a good thing you weren't.
I shouldn't have been arrested. It was a weird story.
But you could say you have. You know.
Yeah,
that could be a little bit of a badge of honor.
I've been thrown in the back of a cop car in handcuffs.
I have never been arrested or thrown in the back of a cop car.
I would have never guessed.
I had my closest thing to even remotely being like that was a cop came to my house because I went on a golf course at like 1 a.m. and some person reported us and
they found you?
And the cops found our license plate.
Oh, okay.
And came to our house.
Rebel.
But we lied. I lied to a cop.
You lied to a police officer?
I lied to a police officer.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have much of a rebellious history. I did steal something once just to know what it felt like.
Whoa.
I know. I went to a Walmart and I was like, you know what? I want to steal something.
What'd you steal?
I stole a box of Life cereal.
How did you walk in? Did you like put it under your shirt?
No, I just put it in my cart. I checked out. I bought everything except the Life cereal.
Did you go to like self-checkout?
Yeah.
Well, that's like asking. They're asking for people to steal with those things.
I felt guilty and went back like a week later and paid for it.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I love that. Oh,
okay. Well, that's
it's our best
delinquent.
It's our best intro to any podcast.
And then for paddle, babble, and gear, we're gonna talk power paddles. We played with each other Friday morning. Afterwards, I just got the most popular power paddles that are out there right now. We've played these before, but we did some side by side comparisons, and we're just gonna ask questions like which one has the most firepower, power, pop, and feel, forgiveness. And just if you're on the hunt or in the market for a power paddle, this will give you a good idea of the scope of what's available, different profiles that are there. So we're going to talk through those. And then we've done the Q&A segment at the end for a little bit this year. I liked it. It was kind of hard to keep up with the questions there.
A lot of questions, and then you got to pick one.
And so I had an idea this week to swap that segment out for a new one called Paddle Fitting of the Week. So guarantee I'll get a handful of questions of people just talking to me about their thoughts on a paddle that would fit them. And so I'm just going to snag one of those questions that I get sometime during the week, put it in this section for Paddle Fitting the Week. I'm just going to present what they said, who they are, how they play, what they're looking for, and we're just going to fit someone to a paddle. All right, weekly update. I'll let you start this one.
All right, so we played.
Sorry. I'm so good at remembering sponsors.
Oh my gosh.
But we got to call out our title sponsor, Pickleball Central. Thank you, Pickleball Central, for sponsoring. These guys are great. They have a huge selection. Take advantage of their 30-day free trial period for paddles. Not every company offers that. They do. Acts as essentially a demo program.
Yep.
They have rewards. So every time you purchase, you get points towards future purchases. Customer service is awesome. And have a lot of good things to say about Pickleball Central. Do your shopping there. Use the link in the description to get 10% off nearly everything on their website, but you have to use the link in the description to get that discount applied. And so go do your shopping at Pickleball Central.
Love it.
Okay.
All right.
Update.
Friday morning, we hadn't played together in a while.
Yeah, it'd been a minute.
So we played in the Friday morning member run event, which changes every week. This week it was Leapfrog King of the Court. We played okay. Yeah. We started at the top, went to the middle, back to the top, back to the middle.
I didn't think we played that bad.
No, we didn't play that bad, especially for not playing for a while. But I wanted to give a shout out to these kids because that to me, that was the highlight of my morning. We played against two kids, Trey and Ty, 13 and 15.
I think so, yeah.
And it's just amazing to see how good kids are getting. And it really like makes me happy for the sport.
Yeah. So Ty's the older one. He's 15.
15.
And he just, those kids you see that they just swing different than adults who have previous sports history. These guys, they play all the time. I see them at the club all the time. I haven't played them much until that morning. But just the motions are really clean, very pickleball-y, right? And you know that's gonna. I see that all over the place for that age group that are good, like these guys are, and that's gonna translate. The game will be different.
Yes, 100%
with these guys.
I honestly say in 10 years, I think the pro scene is going to be dominated by much younger people.
Yeah,
maybe not kids, but I think like we're going to see way more Annalise, like way more 18-year-olds.
Annalise, I think the Gabe Tardio style, that's very funky and flicky.
Unique. Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I'm seeing in this 15-year-old age where they're super creative.
Yeah, exactly. Creative is a great word.
I mean, when you and I go play, it's to get exercise, to have fun.
Yeah.
We're not experimenting as much as these guys are. These guys, when you're 15, you're bored.
Yeah.
You go, you're hitting with a buddy and you're just doing weird stuff and you discover and find new shots that you and I will never find because we just don't tinker like that as like youth do. And so they have those motions, and some of the shots they pull off are so impressive, and the consistency once that comes with it.
Yeah, they're going to be a force.
We'll never beat those guys again.
That's the last time we beat them.
Yeah. They were impressive. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
And the only, but it was great playing with you. This is the first time we played in a minute, like we said.
Yeah.
You've lost 50 pounds since we last played. The 10% extra speed that
there,
Aaron was joking about.
It's there.
Is real. That's no joke.
It's there.
I've never seen a Kyle Ernie the ball first game. I think
it was clean too.
It was clean. He got at least a half a foot in the air.
Yeah. 6 inches. I'll take it.
6 inches.
I thought you were gonna say half an inch.
Cleared that corner with ease.
Oh yeah.
Looking like a gazelle.
I was looking like Georgia.
Yeah, you were Georgia now. Did she get a sick early this weekend or something?
Was it last week?
Last week.
Yeah. She had. Did you not see that? It was like, I'll have to send it to you. She hit like a beautiful Ernie. She was so close to the net, and like her footwork was perfect where she barely avoided the net. They tried to challenge her hitting the net, but she didn't. It was perfect. Hit it perfectly like level, like as it was just playing. Money. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I'm sure the other team we played would have challenged your Ernie, but it wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't work.
No, that was clean. That was a pure Ernie. The speed was legit. Unfortunately, still can't dink.
Yeah, dink is not,
the dink's going to the net.
I want to go. I just want hands battles. Let's go.
The hands are still there. The power is still there. We were concerned that the drop in weight was going to lose some of the power.
No,
it's still there. It's still there. He's working out.
So.
Exactly. You're replacing that with muscle.
Exactly.
It's probably stronger now. And then, anyways, last thing for weekly update is Ben using my tungsten?
Ooh.
Did you see his new paddle setup video?
Did they zoom in on it?
No. So.
Oh, he did a paddle setup video.
So he did a new paddle setup. This was 2 days ago. What happened was, there was a spike on Amazon sales for tungsten, and I didn't know what it was from. And then I got tagged in Discord later saying, "Hey, Braydon, has Ben using your tungsten?" I was like, "What?" So I go and watch his video. He had just published it. This guy's Perseus. He uses tungsten. He doesn't show the packaging. He doesn't show.
Well, yeah, you didn't pay him,
right?
So of course, he's not going to show it.
But he holds the roll. It's a 0.5 gram per inch. It has that plastic ring in it. It's brandless, and I don't think anyone else has a 0.5 gram that's brandless and has that plastic ring in it. So I'm fairly confident it was mine. But regardless, he didn't say it was Picklball. Like he just said he was using tungsten.
Yep.
And a bunch of people went and searched it on Amazon, and there was. Over the last 2 days, I've sold a little over probably about 115, 120 more tungsten rolls than I normally sell.
Okay.
And I was like, dang, Ben didn't even mention, he just said he's using tungsten. Yeah. And a bunch of people went and just bought
your SEO's good.
Tungsten.
Your SEO's good enough that it pops high up there.
Yeah. I mean, on Amazon, my tungsten is number one.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But just all over the place, plus for sponsoring. And so I'm sure they just typed in tungsten and it just happened to be mine that popped up first, but they didn't see that and think, oh, that's Braydon's tungsten.
Yeah.
And I can't confirm or deny that it is, but it sure looked like it.
Shoot him a DM. See?
But the fact that he like I don't know. Ben moves stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. I am the guy that's always on here that's like oh, they don't move enough. Those guys move a ton of everything. Like
this is the first. He's done a few of these paddle setup videos.
Mm-hmm.
He's always used lead. That's the first time I think he's used tungsten, and just him mentioning tungsten.
Yeah,
all
not
of a
even the
sudden-
brand. Yeah.
I mean, when there's only been about 15, I think there's 15,000 views of that video last I watched it, and it had that effect on Amazon. And I'm sure other brands got a lift.
Oh, 100%.
It wasn't just me, I'm sure.
Yeah, because somebody probably typed in tungsten on Amazon, and then there's top 3 options, and yours is probably a little more than the knockoff one. Some people bought that knockoff one, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I'm sure there was a lift across the
Yeah.
board, but to see that much of a lift just on my listings, it was like, wow, okay, Ben's got some influence here. That was kind of eye opening.
I don't know if you could afford Ben though.
No, I don't need to. He's doing it for me.
I know.
But it's cool to see him adopt tungsten because we need a ditch lead. You need to get rid of lead, and it's fun to see someone like him adopt tungsten, realize the importance of it. The pro scene, I mean, there's about, I don't know how many. There's probably about 10 or so pros, semi-pros that use it. So it's in the scene. It's around. People are using it, and it's slowly getting adopted by more and more people. And I think it's good. Whether it's mine or others, whatever, I just think tungsten
the move to tungsten
is the move. And eventually everyone's going to go to my paddle tuning tape because it's cheaper.
It's true.
But anyways, that was kind of fun. And
thanks, Ben.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. You did great. 3-0 to 5-0 or anything else for weekly update?
No, that was it. I mean, it was, we're headed to Orlando and Vero Beach coming up soon. Not going to give you the exact dates, but we will be. Nerdy Tourney is going to be happening soon.
Yeah, we'll be talking Nerdy Tourney in the next pod.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. So 3-0 to 5-0, this is my week. This section is brought to you by Holy Performance. This is our hydration partner. Water's good. Electrolytes are better. Electrolytes just make water work for you better. Water on its own is enhanced and everything's better with electrolytes. You don't get dizzy. You feel like you're able to recover quicker. Your muscles can function more properly when you're properly hydrated thanks to electrolytes. Go get your electrolytes from these guys. They also have post and pre-workout stuff and greens. So they have the full scope. You can get 10% off. Use the code PB Effect. Actually, I think it's 15% off. You get a discount if you use the code PB Effect. Link in the description. Get your electrolytes from them. Plus their flavors are fantastic. All right, 3-0 to 5-0. My tip today is use protection.
I don't know how to take this one. The line just says use protection.
I knew you'd like that.
Yeah.
I knew you'd like that. That's Kyle humor.
I know. Oh, I read it. I'm like, you got 3 kids. You're not following your own rules.
All right. The tip is to protect your partner. So when your partner hits their return, so many people will just stay on their side and not protect their partner. Yeah. If you just take 1 or 2 steps towards the middle, protect your partner from the drive, use your thirds, it makes your opponent's third much more difficult to exploit your opponent as they come in. Plus, it just makes the window so much smaller. That takes a half a court, shrinks it to a fourth of court. If they're going to hit a wicked drive that reaches them, it's just got to be perfect. Yeah. If they want to hit a drive or a drop that's going to put a ton of pressure on that person, it's just got to be a perfect stinger in that corner, which is low percentage shots. And so if you just take 1-2 steps over to the left or right, depending on what side you're on, to protect your partner after they hit their third as they come in. So whoever's at the net should be taking that next ball the vast majority of the time, regardless of which side it's on. And so protect your partner, get big, and you're not really giving up much space. If I take a step and a half to the middle to handle that third, in order for them to hit, let's say I'm on the left, I take 1 step and a half to the right, my foot's just over the center line. They can't really drive it by you unless the only time, well, I guess they can. There are scenarios where that you don't want to step to the middle. Yeah. So if your partner returns cross court, you don't want to expose the line.
You give them your line, yeah.
In that scenario, you do need to protect your sideline a little bit. But if the ball is returned middle or to the corner opposite of you, squeeze middle, protect your partner, and they can't do anything to you on your open side. They can't, if they try to drive it, it's going to go out onto that open side. The only thing they can do is hit a drop there. And so you you're not giving up anything, and you're making that shot infinitely more difficult for the person playing the third. But yeah, be aware that if the return is cross court, don't pinch. You do have to protect your sideline, and hopefully your partner will approach the net to the middle rather than their own side. That's my tip for your use protection. And now no one's going to forget that because of the great naming convention. Any other thoughts?
Well, no, that's a great tip. And I learned that really early on. And it's funny because if you go to the park and you watch people play, they don't protect their partner at all. So your partner is taking, even those like slow drives to the feet. They're trying to dig off their feet as they're approaching the net.
Those are so tough to handle.
Where all you had to do is take one step over. You don't have to do much with it. Block it, and then your partner can basically walk to the net, and you guys are at the net.
Yep.
So like it's huge, and it's huge at all levels. Like if you're a 3-5 and you're doing that, it's going to bring your game up a lot.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Especially at that 3-5-4-0 where their thirds just aren't as penetrating.
No, exactly. Like some of them some of them you will be able to step over and actually do something with it.
Yeah.
Where if you would have just stood on your side of the court, it would have hit the ground, where you could have just taken 1 or 2 steps over and put it right back to their feet.
Mm-hmm. And when you do this, it's also very common. So let's say your partner returns middle, I pinch, and they drive to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
The drive and crash is so prevalent.
Oh, yeah.
So the person that didn't drive the third is going to be crashing. Mm-hmm. And so if you step in and take that drive, you put that at the feet of the person crashing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you just get the ball back.
Yep.
So it can really damper the drive and crash a lot for people, especially if they're trying to hit your partner.
Love it.
All right, Kyle's Corner.
Kyle's Corner brought to you by Slice, manufactured in Arizona. 100% made in America. You can get different weights. You got the speed caps, right?
Speed coins,
sorry. The adhesive to the bottom. I will say, I'm going to give an honest review. I am not the biggest fan of the coin because I like the very heavy ones, and I have had my heavy ones pop off. The lighter ones don't pop off as easy at all.
I've found myself using the lighter, so that the lightest they have is a 10 gram.
Mm-hmm.
I will put that on almost every paddle.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Do you ever not use a coin or a cap?
No, on everything I use a coin or a cap. I have a lot of these caps now, and the cap fits. So when you order one, you pick your paddle. These do fit more than one paddle, so you can always ask them what other paddles do these fit. Because there's only a certain number of...
Yeah, so say you order it for a Shogun, then you can ask them what else does it fit.
And it might fit. And sometimes you'd be surprised. Like, it might fit a paddle tech. It might fit that. So they have more use than that one paddle you buy for, because I know that was a complaint. So I love them. Check them out. PB Effect, code, discount. All right, got a few things in Kyle's Corner. Big one, the Picklr is headed to Japan, which I think is amazing. So Picklr announced that they partnered with Kenton. He owns Minnow.
Kenton's a dude, not a person.
Kenton is a dude.
Or a dude, not a brand.
Yeah, he's a dude. Kenton is a person. He's in Japan. I talked to him when I was in Japan. He owns Minnow, which is a paddle brand out there. And he also started a company called Nippon Holdings. And they started like the first real pickleball outdoor courts out there.
Okay.
Which opened like right after I left. It's called like Pacific something club. It's really cool. So working with him, they're going to actually open a Picklr. So I'm super excited to see if we can like get out there for the grand opening or something. That would be really cool.
Work it, Kyle.
I 1,000% gonna try to work it. So exciting news for Japan. I love to see that they're growing. I will definitely keep a close eye on how that goes.
Picklr going international.
Yeah, that's huge.
Good for them.
Awesome. I am curious because like the real estate in Japan, like how big of a facility it's going to end up being. So I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I mean, of all the franchises for indoor places, the Picklr is one of the more dynamic, where you can do 6-court, 8-court.
Exactly. They're none. I feel like none are like the exact same.
Yeah, they're not the exact same, but they all have the same programming and approach, where it's this more of a gym style, in and out, not clubby, I guess.
And they sell the memberships. They keep the membership price lower and sell more memberships versus like the high cost.
Yeah,
and then less memberships.
Yeah, but speaking of franchises, so the Flying Pickle has franchised a handful now.
I think 4.
Yeah, so those are starting to expand, which is really exciting. They're starting to build the second one here in Nampa. If anyone listening is interested in possibly franchising the Flying Pickle, let us know. We can get you connected with their ownership group, so you can explore that idea if you want to. But yeah, they're doing it. How cool is that?
It's awesome. Pickleball's booming. And speaking of courts opening, Lifetime Fitness just opened finally here in Eagle, Idaho. They took over Eagle Tennis Club. The prices are a little steep. It's $200 a month, or $300 for a couple. So that's actually not too bad. If you have a couple.
Sorry, Kyle.
No, I don't know though. Can we just say we're a couple and then we're only paying $150? But,
is that too mean to me? Should I not do that?
Yeah, I don't know. But I've seen pictures of it. I haven't been there yet. It looks like they did a really good job. It looks really nice. The drop-in fee is $50 to drop in, which is very steep.
Yeah, that seems very expensive. So I looked up the prices for the Flying Pickle. I know I may look like a dirtbag because I don't know these off the top of my head because we
it's like $20, right?
It's $12 for open play.
Yeah.
$15 for an organized play.
Okay.
And then $20 to reserve a court
That's what
per
I thought.
person.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So $15 to come to an organized King of the Court thing.
Yeah, that's well worth it.
Or a duper level event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
That's easy.
Yeah, to me, $50. That's a lot of money to go play pickleball 2 hours.
50. I mean, we were talking about this before the pod. That's half a paddle.
Yeah,
you can
have a good paddle.
Half a really good paddle.
Yeah.
It feels steep to me. I don't know how much Lifetimes costs in other places, but in this area, that's expensive. Yeah. That's what 3 times what the Flying Pickle is for one session, and so.
If you're just going by drop-in fee, yeah.
If you're just going by drop-in fee.
And then I think if you go highest membership, because I don't know if 200 is, because I don't know if they have tiered memberships. 200 is just what they put out. But like the highest membership at Flying Pickle is $130, I think. Mm-hmm. So that's still $70 more.
Yeah, and that's just for drop-in fees. Maybe the membership fees, like the $200 a month, is that just pickleball or is that
no?
everything?
I think that's going to get you, but I don't think they're done yet. So, but
eventually
they're going to have pools and they're going to have the gym.
So that makes they
might already have the gym, but
feel
less,
better, right? Yeah. So maybe 200 is better than 130 if you get the full scope. Though that drop-in fee is.
See, I kind of did the math already on that, and I feel like 150 makes more sense because you can go get a membership to Idaho Fitness Factory for $30 a month, mm-hmm. and then let's equate it to the same as Flying Pickle and call it 130. So it's 160. I still feel like 200 is pretty steep. But then again, I don't know. Lifetime, they might have really good programming in their gyms too.
But I mean, 200. Okay, initially, yeah, that feels like a lot. But when you think of all the other potential benefits that you get with it. I don't know all of them, but I know you get more than just pickleball. 200 seems more reasonable than your initial shock of 200.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll have to look at it more.
We need to get in there and check it out
side by side. Go check it out. I've heard the courts are nice.
Yeah, they look really nice.
We should go check it out, see what they got going on. But yeah, there's a Lifetime here, and yeah, I don't know what prices are in other places for Lifetime. If that's normal across the board, or if maybe that's a cheaper Lifetime. I don't know.
It's cheaper. I talked to some people in New York, but it's New York, and I think it's closer to $300 a month. Mm-hmm. But again, it's New York, so the realistic you can't compare.
But regardless, it's fun to see more facilities pop up, more pickleball.
We got Nampa coming. We got the Eagle Open. I'm sure we got more. I think S2 is going to build another one. So I mean, we went from 0, and I think we're going to have like 5 within the span of 2 years.
There will be some people that like the model and approach that Lifetime takes, and they'll happily pay the 200. And more pickleball, I think, is great.
Yeah. I do wonder, because we were going to talk about Boise Challenger happening, PPA. Mm-hmm. They have a relationship with Lifetime, so I wonder if this is going to be Flying Pickle's last chance to have a PPA event.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, let's talk about that. So the Flying Pickle, 18 courts, 4 very premium sized courts. Yes. All of them are fenced off, really nice facility. They built that facility with the intention of being used for events like this. Mm-hmm. So it's they're having their first big event this weekend. Fortunately, both of us are out of town.
Yeah,
I'm really bummed about that because I wanted to go watch.
We're gonna miss the PPA.
So it was a PPA Challenger event. I don't know if I would have played in it, but I would have certainly liked to go and watch. And so there's about 30 men's teams. I want to say 20 women's teams. Okay. There's a bunch of mixed, a bunch of men's singles. Women's singles was a little bit lower. I bet Mariana, our local Mariana, who beat Leia Jansen a few months ago, will do really well.
Shield,
in
yeah, in singles for sure.
Hopefully she wins that. All of the local talent is playing.
Yeah, we got some people playing in the pro. Like Billy's playing with Maria, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, so all of the local talent's playing. There are some people traveling in. I looked at ages because I was just interested in ages. The vast majority are in their 20s.
Okay.
Most of them are in that 20 to 25. So these are people. I mean, some of these people are signing up just because, it's a PPA Challenger. It's here. It's close. Let's go try it out. But I think there's some names I didn't recognize that were traveling in. These got to be people who were trying to get PPA points, trying to use the tour for what it was meant for, and it would have been fun to go and watch. And but there is an APP event that'll be at the Flying Pickle later in the year too. I don't know the dates on that one, but I did see that they announced something, and so maybe we'll be able to go to that one.
That'd be good. One note on this PPA, because I was answering questions yesterday. If you are playing in the pro division, you do need a UPA approved paddle. And it does not have to be blacked out if they didn't pay the marketing fee for the Challenger Tour. If you're playing anything under professional level, it just has to be, it can be UPA or USAP approved. Yeah,
so these PPA Challengers, they have the open divisions, but then they also are doing a regular tournament, 5-0, 3-0, whatever.
And they're not strict on paddles for that. But for the pro division, they are strict on the paddles. Has to be approved.
Interesting. I wonder if that is going to cause anybody to have to switch.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, I'm letting somebody borrow a paddle.
Who's doing it?
Maria, because she's playing pro with Billy.
Oh, what did you give her?
So I'm going to give her the Arma.
She doesn't have it yet? She needs to get some reps with that bad boy.
I know. I just talked to her yesterday. So
okay. She is sponsored by Crush?
No. Maria's sponsored by, I think she just switched because I think she's going to be Knox now because JMA is Knox.
JMA's Knox. Cool. Good for her.
So, and I don't think her paddle is going to be here in time. So,
all right.
And then the last thing, it was just kind of funny because it reminds me of all the drama going on at our parks. In Cincinnati, Ohio, there's a park posted. If you are on these courts past 7 p.m., you will be arrested.
This is my chance. I can get arrested.
You can. We got to fly to Cincinnati, Ohio.
Let's do it.
And go play pickleball.
I'm ready for this. Dude, I can feel the adrenaline rush already.
I know it's terrible because, I'm a father. I'm supposed to set a good example. I would actually kind of want to get arrested for playing pickleball. I think that'd make it for a cool story.
Dude, somebody's going to do it. That's just
a challenge.
That's just asking for
it.
Yeah,
exactly. Challenge accepted. That's going to make news. It'd be even better if it's some old grandma. Like Jane, age 73, arrested for playing till 7:30 p.m. on a Saturday.
Jane, what a rebel. Oh my gosh. I would look up what the fees are for being arrested at the repercussions and go talk to every 65 plus person and just pay double for whatever that is.
It'd be even better to organize an event at 7 p.m. Silver Sneaklers Club. That was it for Kyle's Corner.
That seems like they're just asking for trouble. All right. Paddle, Babble, and Gear brought to you by ADV Bags. Bum. So I've had this one for several months now. They've since updated this, and they have a new pocket here. They've updated some of the linings inside, and so they keep making these better and better. I like this about ADV. They take feedback well, they implement it, and they keep improving it. They don't always this is V2 where they've made a bunch of changes from their V1, but these smaller changes they made didn't warrant a V3. It's just smaller upgrades. So if you go buy a backpack V2 from ADV today, you're going to get the new one with all the upgraded linings, zippers, and some things that they changed. So they keep making them better and better. They do a good job there. The owners are fantastic. They listen to feedback. 10-year warranty. This is my favorite large pickleball backpack. They got other stuff in the works that we'll be announcing in the short future. So excited for them. Yeah, if you're on the hunt for a new bag, go check out ADV. Use the code PBEffect. Their pricing is fair. You are paying. It's high quality. You feel like you're getting what you paid for, but you don't feel like you're breaking the bank with these. And so they do a good job there. And link in the description. Code PBEffect gets you a discount. Go get one of those. Someone commented last week that they had bought this bag using the code and they were really happy with it. So I was excited to see that. Thank you for the comment. Okay. Talking top power paddles. So we have a huge stack of the paddles we tested. I'm just going to mention the paddles we tested, and then we'll go through some of these questions I put on. So we have the Holbrook Armas have been a hot topic lately. So we got those in there. We have Gearbox, Franklin, Rhombus, Paddle Tech, and Yola 11624, and then I threw in the Friday Fever. So we have experience with all these, but we just hit all these side by side, play some skinny singles, just doing the back and forth thing with all of them to determine what our favorites are and answer these questions we're going to go through. So we're going to ask discuss which paddle has the most firepower, power, pop, forgiveness, feel, budget, personal favorite, and then least favorite.
Okay.
So first one is most firepower. Of these paddles, which one did you think just had the most total combined offensive power and pop, most firepower?
I think it has to be the Ripple.
I agree. Ripple V2, both of our favorites is the R4. It has about the same swing weight as the wide body, but having that little extra length just makes it feel a little more natural when you're in motion on your swings than the wide body for some reason. But yeah, total power and pop. This thing probably has the highest power too out of all these paddles on a full swing, serves, unleashing, overheads. The pop is there, though it's not as immediate maybe as the originals were, but it is still very jumpy, very springy. It comes off. It doesn't, you have to give it a little bit, but when you do,
it goes.
Yeah.
And I may be different than everybody else, but I actually like the higher swing weights than the previous. I like this generation more than the first generation.
Do you?
Yeah.
I have not doctored one up yet. I've only been playing them stock because they are heavy.
Yeah.
But I wonder what a slice cap would feel on this.
Well, that's a good point.
I need to try.
I think
this
I have one
with
too.
a slice cap. So yeah, most firepower, Rhombus Ripple. These release June 10th. Code PB Effect will work on those, but they'll sell for $280. And at $280, sometimes you give those paddles more scrutiny, right? At that price, I do think at $280 these offer something unique where these are likely the highest firepower on the market, I would guess at the moment.
And they're approved now, so.
And they're approved. They're not going to go anywhere.
Exactly. They're not getting delisted.
Yeah, these are here to stay, whether we like it or not. And so these they have a unique value proposition. Huge power, huge pop.
Yep.
A little bit on the heavier side, not a big deal.
And you're paying
for
the innovation. Like it's not like any other paddle.
Right. Yeah, you're paying for the innovation some. And then the feel, I think, is a UVP for these, just because a lot of these other paddles, like pretty much the vast majority of Gen 3s, have that stiffer, holler feel to them. This doesn't have that.
No.
To me, I prefer the impact feel of this.
Yes.
I can't necessarily control this better than those, but the experience and impact is more comfortable than the other ones. So I like that. But it's not as forgiving as some of these others, which we'll talk about. But yeah, if you're looking for total firepower, that's the one. Next question, most power, just straight up top end power, serves, drives. Does it go back to this one?
Yeah. I think it has to.
So this one, the Yolas,
Because I think the Yolas are just a little below that. Not much though. Like
these are probably the top two though. I would put, Yola's number one for power. Number two, top end power, is the Perseus. I think in the right hands of someone who can really just rip the ball, you're not going to get a huge difference between these two, because they are able to activate the power from both, I think. But for maybe that not so talented D1 tennis players, you're probably going to get a little more from the Rhombus, because it's going to do more of the work for you than activating that propulsion core from the Yola, though both are good there. So we start to see some variance in this next question. Most pop.
Oof.
What would you answer? Obviously the Ripple's high.
The Ripple is high.
Do you think anything beats the Ripple?
Yeah, I was going to say that's
I think Paddle Tech's too.
That's a contender.
There's the other one. So Paddle Tech has a few different shapes, which I think is another benefit to these guys. But I think pop, so this is short strokes, holding the paddle still, small motions. It's easier to generate that ball speed with these than I think it is with the Yolas and the Ripples. And I haven't played a paddle tech in a minute.
Yeah.
When we were hitting these,
exactly.
we were both like, whoa,
yeah, like we
I
forgot.
forgot.
No, exactly. That was funny because I hadn't touched a paddle tech in a minute. And then I was like, oh, these still compete.
Yeah. So these aren't as powerful from the baseline as these. And so it's almost easier to control drives and serves with these than the Ripple and Yola. Plus, they're just a little more consistent there. So the Ripple, with the introduction of foam in the Yola and the Ripple, you'll get some variance. Okay, say I swing 100%. Sometimes I get 60 miles per hour. Sometimes I get 61. You're just going to get some variance there where I think the consistency, what these paddles produce is more prescribed. It's more, I don't know what the right word is. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
More with these, you can be a little bit more precise.
That was like when we discussed, I think that got debunked, but like in my mind, like linear versus exponential. Like I felt like foam was more of like an exponential.
Right.
I think it got debunked with the Canon, but
yeah, he debunked it, but I don't think that debunks what we're experiencing with kind of the consistency of how the ball comes off the face. These are just a little bit more predictable to me than these. It's not a huge difference. I was talking to somebody about this week, and they're better than me, and he made a really good point of in doubles. He prefers the Yola over the paddle tech because that small variance in drives and things doesn't matter as much. It's more about kind of raw power in doubles. But once you get to those slower speeds, when you're resetting, dinking, dropping, you don't get as much of that variance. It's more of those bigger shots. Yeah. But in singles, he prefers paddle techs because of the more consistent drive, the more consistent drop. He can be more accurate on passing shots, on those side angle rollers. He plays better singles with these because of the predictability. Doesn't mind a little of that variability and performance from these in doubles, just because it doesn't matter as much as because you don't have to be quite as precise. And I was like, oh, that's a cool take. And we see Ben Johns not using the Gen 3.
Yeah.
He actually uses the Gen 2 in singles, and I wonder if it's for that same reason. But yeah, pop, these take the cake for me. Plus, these have a unique profile of being very lightweight plus poppy. There's not many paddles like that. And so these are significantly lighter, especially their wide bodies, than the Scorpius and the R2. And so if you're looking for a lightweight option that's in this power category, these win, I think.
And if made in America matters to you, paddle tech.
So yeah, those are the poppiest. I think a drawback to these versus these others, though, is that these aren't as forgiving. They need weight, though. It's kind of known that they have more of a dead spot here at the top that you have to deal with. Apparently, some people like that. Well, who did that video? It was John Q did the video with Monroe.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, yeah, I use the dead spot to kill the ball sometimes. I was like, okay, maybe if you're a 7-0 player, you could do that, but the average person that goes into the net,
no.
Okay, so those are the poppiest, but you do have to deal with smaller sweet spots. But they are lighter weight. You can customize them. You can get them in a good place. But yeah, that's thoughts there. Okay, most forgiving.
Ooh.
I think you got to go 11, 6, 24 and Yolas.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, but that actually is a very good contender too.
I think just these two series in general, the 16 millimeters in the Yola and then the 11, 6, 24s, I think are the most forgiving
I would agree.
Out of the box.
So if you're price conscious, obviously 11, 6, 24.
Yeah, but these and they have a little different power profiles. This one's kind of the lower end power. Yeah. This is more the top end power. And so if you want forgiving top end power, go this route. If you want forgiving lower tier power in that category, go 11, 6, 24. But both power powders, obviously. But yeah, those are the most forgiving options. The next question was best feel.
Oh man.
So we're talking impact feel, but I also wanted to take into account, because I like the feel of the rhombus.
R4, yeah.
But it doesn't always translate to control. So I'm going to consider feel plus control a little bit here.
I think we're going to differ on this one.
What are you going to say? Oh, no, that's my answer too.
Oh, no, it wasn't really? Oh, now I feel lame.
No. So I think in general, when we're thinking of feel, it's these ones and gearbox. Yeah. I think the gearboxes feel good. They have that kind of same.
It hurts my elbow though.
It's so heavy.
Like as soon as we started playing with it, I was like, "This is why I don't like gearbox. My elbow's starting to hurt."
Yeah. No, so but this one translates. This feel translates more to control to me than the gearbox one does. Though the gearbox still has a really pleasant, plush, control-like feel. I think the gearbox is probably more plush than these.
Yeah.
But for a Gen 3 paddle, a traditional Gen 3 paddle, these have that propulsion course style. These feel really good.
They do.
They don't have that hollow, stiff feel. Like these are I just like recently discovered these. I know people have done reviews for these, but I've been freaking out about the Franklins this week because I've been playing them a bunch. And I'm just thinking, where have I been? These are great. I really like these paddles. It's been so since the True Foams earlier this year, I haven't done a review where I just really enjoyed and loved playing a paddle until I played these. I played these, and I'm just really digging these.
They look good too. Like there's a lot going for them.
Yeah, and so I don't know how I can describe the feel yet, but it's better than any other Gen 3 I've hit up until this point. I think it's the most pleasant experience. I'm able to dial it in, feel the ball, hit drops, find my resets better with these. I don't think, once these are weighted up, the power and pop it's a power paddle.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think I'm losing a ton of offense going with a softer feel like this. This is probably, if I had to take a guess right now, weighted up, your 11, 6, 24 power-ish range, I think. But they feel great to me, and I'm really digging it.
I want to note what I found interesting is, especially with the elongated, there's not that much difference between the 14 mil and the 16 mil.
It was the same with tempos.
Yeah, which to me, typically, I could close my eyes and tell you 14 versus 16 just by the way it feels. I feel like they feel close enough that honestly, I would go 16 if I was playing singles, and I'd go 14 playing doubles. Yeah, it would be a seamless transition.
That's a great point. That's a really interesting thing about these is the difference in impact feel between the two thicknesses is very little. Yeah, if you hit a 14 Yola,
versus the 16,
it's night and day, and that's kind of your typical experience with 14 and 16s. But yeah, if I were to advise 14 over 16, like to choose which one, I think there's less draws or there's less obvious value propositions between the two than most 14s and 16s. There's less differences between them, and it's more of just what is if you like 16s in the past, go with the 16. If you liked 14s, go with the 14s. There's like a subtle difference in forgiveness. The 16s maybe a touch more forgiving. It's just a touch heavier. The 14 is actually weighted up a bit, so both of the 14 and 16 elongated had the same swing weight of 117. Same with the tempos; they were both 105, I believe. This is almost another Annalise situation where you have with the tempos, where it's very light and still has some pop to it. And anyways, really digging these. So the tempo and elongated come out June 10th. Those are the new shapes. They've had the hybrid C45, and to be honest, the only C45 I have was from their first batch, which has a different feel than these.
Yeah, it's much deeper.
Yeah, it's like a deeper thuddy. And that when Franklin's first got on the map with these, it was because of that deeper thud sound. And that was a first batch thing. Ever since that first batch, I've been talking to people, they all feel like this.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I got as big on the C45 because they didn't feel like these to me. And they're a little bit different.
And I think the color's going to change, right?
No, so they'll have the red available for pre-order.
Okay.
But they're going to have green and red for each.
Oh, so there's going to have options. Okay.
But yeah, I'm really digging these. I'm going to do a full review on them, but I just think that they are the best feeling Gen 3 style paddle. I love that they come in a little bit lighter. You can customize them. And anyways, I really enjoyed playing with these.
Good job, Franklin.
Yeah, so that's why I wasn't big on them earlier. And I honestly haven't really watched many other reviews. I feel like the gist of it was, these play good, but they need weight.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone was harping on how great these feel within the Gen 3 category.
No, I don't think so. I've only watched a couple of their
What's
reviews,
everybody doing? How they miss this? This is so obvious to me. Anyways, okay. Best feel. That's our thoughts there. Best budget.
Well, I mean, you have to go with. Yep. I was going to say, Friday wins that category always.
Yeah.
That's a tough. And then 11.624 is the one that gets close with budgets too.
So the 11.624 is about 160 after code. Friday's 95. Those going to go up to 115 and in about a week. You can buy both of these right now. Is there a reason to go Friday over the 11,624 to you?
For me, no. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't. Well, I know unless money is a huge factor.
No. Like take money out.
Oh, okay. Money out? No.
Would you take this over this?
No.
How come?
I really like the way the Power Series plays. I think its power profile is right where I typically like it. It's not like too hot, and then it's still got a good feel. It's decently forgiving, and they have a good track record. Like I've had good experiences with 11,624. I haven't had a ton of time on the Fridays. Okay. I actually really did like the way that played. I'm not a fan of when they do this, because you don't want to hit the ball down there, but every once in a while you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. If I were take out money, I would pick the 11,624. And I think most people would appreciate how this one plays over this one, especially out of the box.
Yeah.
This is more forgiving. It's still manageable weight. It plays really good stock. This is one of the better stock paddles you can get, especially in the power category, if you don't want to have to manipulate or change the weight at all. The Friday comes in super, super light, but to a fault. So it's about 7.7 ounces. It needs weight to play decent. I have a half gram on the bottom corner or on the bottom, and then a little bit on top to bring that swing weight up. And even with this setup, it's not quite as forgiving as this, but it's, there are some draws to it, the lightweight nature, but it's not as forgiving as this. And I think this is plenty lightweight for what you get. And it has multiple shapes. This just has the one elongated shape. Nothing wrong with this Friday paddle. I think it plays great. It's when you think of a Gen 3 style paddle, you have that kind of a little bit stiffer, more hollow filled. You have that power and pop profile where it's kind of all cord out the box, breaks in a little bit, goes into that power category. This is just kind of your atypical Gen 3. And for $100, it's really solid. If you like the shape, the spins there. Yeah. It's all a lot of good things about it. However, I would take the 11,624 over that if I was willing to spend the extra $50. But introductory to Gen 3, $100, nothing wrong with that.
No, not
at all. And I heard rumors that they might introduce new shape for that, which would be great. And that's another attraction to the 11,624 is you have the multiple shapes. Okay, personal favorite and least favorite.
My personal favorite.
Okay. Least favorite? Was it the gearbox?
The elbow destroyer.
All right, tell me why.
Well, the gearbox is just too heavy. I actually really do like the impact feel on the gearbox, and I can play well, but it could just be technique, but for some reason the gearbox really hurts my elbow, and I notice it quickly. Like when we're playing singles and I'm doing my flicks and stuff, I just feel it in my elbow.
Flares immediately.
Yeah, like instantly. It was the only paddle that did it the whole morning. But I can actually play well with it. I do like the feel, and I know it doesn't hurt everybody's elbow, but for me, that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, I can see that. And then this one was your favorite, the 14 or the 16?
I'm going to say the 14 overall.
Okay.
Again, I thought feeling wise, they feel basically the same. I think I get a little more pop out of the 14. And I like just everything about it. I think it looks good. I think it plays good. I mean, I don't have very many I think Franklin knocked it out of the park this time.
I think the only maybe con to these is it's not high in power, and it's not super forgiving. It's more of a player's paddle. Yeah.
It is what you make it.
It is a little bit what you make it with the weight setups, and so you can get it to kind of wherever you want. But
I could see somebody buying that Planet stock and hating it,
right?
Because I think this is a paddle for the nerds that want to tinker.
Yeah, it's definitely a tinkerer. If you want just a solid power plus forgiveness, I think you have the Yola and 11,624s as your best option. But if you want to tinker, I think I can weight this to a spot where I'd prefer this over the Yola and 11,624. And so, yeah, I agree. This one was my favorite. This is just a new discovery for me. I really enjoyed playing with it.
Welcome to the team.
Welcome to the team, Braydon. But I'm drawn to 14 middle. I'm drawn to 14s over 16s just because I like the little lower launch angle. I can just find my soft game better with 14s than I can with 16s for the most part. And this one just worked, dude. I was game. So we played that Friday morning. we were hitting those. And then I played later that day and used it. And I was playing so well with it. I played it again the next day and was messing with the tempos. And again, just played great with them. Enjoyed, some of the same stuff that I experienced from the day before. And I think those are good. And so, yeah, that was my favorite. Least favorite for me was the Armas, dude.
Both of them or the metallic?
Just Armas in general.
Okay.
So the Armas, I've been playing these quite a bit the last couple of weeks, switching between the different shapes, and I love the idea of it. The dual density, the extra foam, it makes sense to me intellectually, and I want it to work. But when I was starting to like it more, I didn't love it initially. I was starting to like it more, but then we did these side by side comparisons. I just liked all these other paddles more than this one. Primarily for me comes down to the impact feel. It has a very firm, kind of heavy feel to it at impact that I just wasn't working for me with the soft game and things. And so I preferred the impact feel of the Franklins, the Yolas, 11s. I was able to connect with those much quicker and just more pleasant experience to me than this one. I'm going to keep playing with them because I think once things loosen up in the core, maybe the foam the feel might change a little bit. Sometimes as the paddle breaks in more, the feel will change a little bit. So I'm going to keep playing with it. But at the moment, this one kind of took a step back for me compared to these others. But it's not totally determined yet. But from just our little play testing, that one ended up being my least favorite. So that's kind of an overarching scope of the most popular power paddles, how they compare and contrast, depending on the type of profile, feel you want. There's going to be something in this stack right here. I think that'll work for you. All right. Last section, or any other comments for you before we jump to the last section? Okay, last section, paddle fitting of the week. So this is a question I just got yesterday, but I get questions very similar to this quite frequently. So they said, I'm looking for a paddle for intermediate to advanced player, but my problem is a horrible tennis elbow and rotator cuff. Any suggestions?
Not this one.
But yeah, this problem of pickleball elbow overuse injuries is a question that comes up probably every other week or so.
Yeah.
That comes in through my email. Do you have any thoughts or approaches to this?
Well, other than addressing why you're getting the tennis elbow and possible technique, strengthening your forearms, that kind of stuff, I think you want a paddle that's still going to generate that same power without you having to swing too hard.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of factors that go into this one. Buying a paddle that is optimized to help isn't going to fix it on its own. It's depending on what level. Sometimes a new paddle will just turn it off, like you experience with this.
I hit every one of these. This one flares it.
Yeah, so I think getting a paddle that is better for tennis elbow will certainly help, but it's not a guaranteed solution. To your point, do forearm exercises, different things. Another thing I think that's been really helpful when my elbow flares up, because it does flare up here and there, especially when I'm doing my power and pop test, because I'm cranking as hard as I can the whole time. Those compression sleeves from Liorevé help alleviate pain while I'm playing. I'll put a link in the description because I think that's a no-brainer. It looks like a sun sleeve, but it's meant to help relieve some of the pressure in your elbow with the compression that it uses, but it's not too tight. So they've done a good job with those. I like wearing those. But when it comes to a paddle, I think the same way you do. I've had the most success recommending paddles that are lighter weight, but still have some power to them. That way you don't have to overswing to generate the power. I think if you have elbow issues and you have a control paddle, in order to finish points, you're swinging bigger, and then that just aggravates it.
Absolutely.
So having something that's lighter weight. So one of my most common recommendations is the Pursuit EX 6.0 from Engage, because it has some offense to it. It's thicker, it's lighter weight, it's kind of fits those categories, and it has a little softer feel to it. I think that's a good one.
That's a fun recommendation. We don't talk about Engage a lot. So
we
that's
don't.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I've had the most success recommending that one for people. And plus, I think wide bodies are better in general, just because they're more forgiving, less jarring vibrations, and just more forgiveness in general. And so I think, but I'm also think these new tempos from Franklin could be a good option. Very lightweight. You have the easy power and pop. Put some of that tungsten on the side. It's going to give you a really forgiving face. I think this is kind of a new option that I'm going to start sending people to. And for those same reasons. Plus, with the extra foam on the side, that helps reduce vibration some. And when you add the weight, it feels pretty comfortable with to help solve that problem. So yeah, I think my previous go-to has been the Engage, but I'm gonna start recommending these tempos.
The tempos, okay.
I think
I like that
could be another really good option. The paddle techs I think are too poppy and a little jarring feeling, so I haven't always recommended those for elbow issues, even though those kind of fit that profile, being lightweight and having some power to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts there?
No, I like the tempo. I might even say like a vapor power, that shape.
Yeah, that could be another good one. They're not too heavy.
Yeah, those would probably be, the tempo's good. The vapor power is good. I start using a two-handed backhand more. It'll help your tennis elbow.
Oh, really? Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. If mine starts to flare up at all, I start just hitting more.
Is it usually on the backhand side?
Well, no, like it's from hitting big forehands. And then I'm like, all right. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try and hit some more two-handed backhands. And then it gives it a rest of me just trying to destroy the ball all the time.
Oh. I feel it the most when I'm doing my spin tests, because you're coming below the ball and you're getting a little risky with it. And that aggravates my elbow sometimes.
So,
but yeah, there you go. That's episode 81. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Have a great day.